Welcome back to the Archive Network. Aurelius here with Malik, curators of the Treaty Archive. We left Maastricht Treaty last time but beneath the optimism, challenges brewed. Today we pick up where we left off. November 1st, 1993. The Maastricht Treaty is now law. Overnight, the map of Europe is redrawn, not with new borders, but with new rules, rights, and institutions. We're witnessing a tectonic shift that reshapes life for hundreds of millions. It's not just a political change. It affects social dynamics and economic realities. People will wake up to a world where their lives are governed by these new agreements. Change is unsettling, but also necessary for progress.
But let's not forget the human element. For many, this wasn't just a legal formality. It was life-changing. Think about it. A Polish student could suddenly study in Paris and find work in Amsterdam. It wasn't just about following rules. It was about dreams coming true and identities being reshaped all across Europe. Each person had a story, a hope, a future they were chasing. This shift brought new opportunities and challenges that would ripple through communities.
The newfound mobility was nothing short of revolutionary. Citizens could now vote in local elections, no matter where they called home. But we shouldn't romanticize this change. In small towns, many felt it threatened their unique culture and traditions. As more newcomers arrived, the debate over what it truly meant to belong was just beginning. Questions about identity and community loyalty emerged, and tensions simmered beneath the surface. This was a delicate balance that would shape the future in ways we're still unpacking today.
And that's really the crux of the issue, Aurelius. This wasn't just another bureaucratic change. It was a cultural shock for many people. They felt like their identities were being diluted, like parts of their history were being erased. The promise of a shared European identity clashed head-on with deeply rooted national traditions. It's no wonder that tension still simmers today, affecting families and communities who are just trying to hold on to what makes them unique.
Now, let's shift to the Euro project. Maastricht set strict economic conditions for the single currency, and countries scrambled to meet these criteria. It was a high-stakes game of economic chess. Nations like Italy and Greece faced some tough decisions, reforming their economies while trying to stay competitive. This wasn't just about numbers. It was about national pride and stability. The pressure was immense, and the stakes couldn't have been higher as they navigated uncharted waters.
But those reforms came at a cost. Governments had to cut public spending and restructure economies that relied heavily on state support. It wasn't just a technical adjustment. It affected real lives in profound ways. Families faced hardships, like losing access to healthcare or struggling to put food on the table, all for a currency that, honestly, they might not fully understand yet. You could see the worry in their eyes, the uncertainty of what the future held for them.
True enough. Yet, the promise of the euro was compelling. A stable currency could simplify trade and travel across Europe, making it easier for people to move and connect. Businesses would benefit significantly from eliminating those pesky exchange rate headaches that had plagued them for years. When the euro was introduced in 1999, it wasn't just a financial shift. It marked a logistical triumph for European integration, reshaping how we think about commerce and cooperation on the continent.
But let's not ignore the immense pressure that came with it. Countries were scrambling to meet the strict criteria, constantly worrying about the risk of exclusion. With monetary policy firmly in the hands of the European Central Bank, governments found themselves stripped of crucial economic levers. That meant tough choices had to be made, especially during crises when people were counting on their leaders. It wasn't just numbers on a screen. It was real lives hanging in the balance.
Absolutely. Maastricht not only reshaped European politics, it fundamentally altered the balance of power. The European Parliament gained genuine legislative authority. It wasn't just a figurehead anymore. Now, it shared real decision-making power with the Council of Ministers. This shift was a major leap forward for democratic accountability in Europe. We saw the beginnings of a more integrated political framework, and that's crucial for understanding how modern Europe has evolved. It marked a new era in governance.
But was this really democratic, Aurelius? So many citizens felt disconnected from what was happening in Brussels. Decisions made there seemed so far removed from their everyday lives. It was as if their voices didn't matter at all. Critics often pointed out that true power still rested with national governments. That only fueled the skepticism about the EU's legitimacy. People were frustrated. They wanted to feel like they had a say, that their concerns were being heard.
A fair point. Yet, the new common foreign and security policy aimed to unify Europe's voice on the world stage. We envisioned a strong, cohesive front, but the reality was more complicated. National interests often clashed, making it tough to find common ground. Each state had its own agenda, and achieving consensus among such diverse nations turned out to be a Herculean task. We're left to wonder how much unity can be forged when so many unique perspectives are at play.
And those complexities didn't go unnoticed. The Maastricht Treaty really stirred the pot, especially among Eurosceptic groups. People were scared of losing their sovereignty, and that fear lit the fuse for protests and heated debates. Some folks warned that we were on the brink of a creeping superstate that could erase the national traditions they held dear. It wasn't just politics. It was about real lives and the cultures that define who we are.
You're right. Yet even amidst the dissent, the EU's appeal continued to grow. Stability and prosperity became magnets for our neighbors in Central and Eastern Europe. They viewed the EU as not just a union, but as a vital path toward modernization and progress. Applications for membership began pouring in from eager nations, each one hoping to join this promising venture. This surge of interest set the stage for expansion, reshaping the political landscape in ways we couldn't have imagined.
But beneath that optimism, challenges were brewing. The new rules were about to face their first real tests. Could the EU really maintain its delicate balance between unity and diversity in the face of unpredictable changes? Or would the first storm expose vulnerabilities that many had overlooked? It wasn't just about politics. People's lives were at stake. Families, communities, and cultures depended on this ambitious project. Would they weather the storm? Or would it tear them apart?
The Maastricht Treaty remade Europe, but let's not kid ourselves. The story is far from over. It set the stage for a host of challenges that would shape the continent's future in ways we can only begin to imagine. We must ask ourselves, would its ambitious promises actually be fulfilled, or would new risks emerge to haunt us all? As history has shown, the answers often lie hidden in the shadows, waiting to emerge. Only time will reveal what's next for us.
That's where we leave it this time. Maastricht Treaty continues. The story isn't finished yet. Find the full series on the Treaty Archive, part of the Archive Network. We'll be back with the next chapter.